Welcome to Gaming Fin, your channel for everything related to the gaming industry and the financial markets, my friends. And today I will talk about NACON games. You can see here, this is the NACON page on Steam. You see more or less what games they were publishing in the past, but we come back to this immediately. So, my friends, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm simply a retail investor, a YouTuber. I like to talk about gaming stocks, and this is what I'm doing in this video. And also disclaimer, I'm not invested in NACON yet, but I consider to buy a little stake in this company. So NACON, here's the Yahoo Finance page, of course. NACON is the Paris Stock Exchange. Here we get some overall data, and we go also a little bit more into detail of their integrated pure play in video games vision, and then we're going to check out some numbers. I'm also talking about some of the issues they had recently, because I mean, this is something you also need to take into account before you invest in NACON. So NACON market cap of 483 million. That's a small company. Officially, this is a small company. A PE ratio of 39 as it stands here on Yahoo Finance. I didn't make the latest calculations, but I think this is always updated automatically. Earnings per share positive, I like that. And yeah, I'm also going to tell you immediately what's a little bit later what's the BigBen Interactive link. And then here we see the earnings as well, my friend. So pretty new to the markets. You see here, first time trading in March 2020. So it's NACON it doesn't really has the track record now. So this was the, let's say, the first bubble up to 850 was coming in January 21. So when we had all those tech stock bubbles in general, so we can call it nowadays a bubble, of course. I mean, then the stock was falling to like 50% down. So if you invested, of course, when they had the IPO, then you should be still fine. If you invested here on the way up, then you shouldn't be fine. So for me, it's this let's say this range here is very interesting to look. So the overall range since the IPO and before, it's not really, it's actually before the pandemic. You can see it here. So when the pandemic hit, NACON was also falling to €2.97. So this range is for me interesting. And at the moment we're on the upper side of this range. It means before I invest, I actually prefer that we go and see a price under €5. So let's jump quickly to the NACON numbers, because here's also some very interesting information, and I'm scrolling in, my friends, to tell you now what this is. So NACON is a company of the BigBen Group, BigBen Interactive. That's also a stock. You can see this as well. Founded in 2019 to optimize its know-how through strong synergies in the video game market by bringing together its 14 development studios, the publishing of AA, so AA games. So those are the medium games and a bit niche games. Those are not like the Horizon Zero Dawn, the Sony games, and the Call of Duty. So they are AA games, not AAA games. So the design and distribution of premium gaming devices, so they make also hardware. NACON focuses on 30 years of expertise at the service of players. The new unified business unit strengthens NACON's position in the market, enables it to innovate by creating new unique competitive advantage. So annual sales 177 million, headcount over 700 employees, and here you can see the IESN, the Reuters and the Bloomberg ticker, so where you can buy this. So let's have a little look at those numbers. So I think it's important to look now at the numbers first, and then we're going to jump on the Wikipedia page, and then we're going to check at their investor relation page, and there we're going to have a lot of information. So I'm doing this the last, so you know this, the video going to take a little bit longer, but that's the whole plan of this video. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you like this kind of videos, a little bit more improvised videos on those are not edited videos, then please leave me a comment, a like, or subscribe even to my channel. So I'm not first I'm a gamer and second I'm an investor, but I'm trying to mix all of those hobbies I have together, so that's important for me, and I'm always looking for some good new gaming companies to invest in. So I'm almost invested in most of the gaming companies, but as you know, some are also disappearing, like Zynga and Activision Blizzard. So we start here. Return to growth for the third quarter 21-22 plus 5.2%, they say, and it's a confirmation of their targets. All right. So yeah, the first quarter and the second quarter, here we see that the sales were actually going down. They say, yeah, this has something to do with the pandemic ending. And then they say the third quarter, of course, when you go 19% down, 11% down, you go down a lot to previous pandemic, but then to the third quarter again, it's like with the GDP of a country. Don't get mistaken there when they tell you, oh, we had a GDP growth of 5%. Yeah, it's mostly with regard to the GDP that went down the last 3 years in the recession, so don't get your hopes too high there. So third quarter 5.2% and cumulative 9 month a minus of 8.2%. So that's maybe a more interesting and important number. So Q3 sales rebound, they say, to $51 million, return to growth after 2 quarters which had been impacted by a very high comparison basis. This means it has been the sales have been very good during the lockdown. Lockdown periods favorable to the business. Sales growth over the period was driven by the strong performance of the games catalog. So games business posted sales of 14.3 million. It's not a lot, guys. So it's not a lot. It's a small company. This increase was driven by the release of Cricket 22. Probably you never heard about this game, like me, which got off to a commercial start in line with expectations. The back catalog held up with sales. So back catalog, old games, new games. Accessories business also grew by 7.4% over the period. The third quarter of fiscal year saw the release of the new Revolution X Pro controller, which is a new controller for the PlayStation. So and then also, of course, they say that the shortage of the consoles in general also impacted them. Q4 sales to be impacted by postponed game release, and now we're talking about the fourth quarter, so in 21, now we're in 22. NACON will continue to benefit from the success of Cricket 22. As I said, I never heard about this game. You can check it later on Steam if it's there, and the launch of Rugby 22. However, game sales are expected to be down sharply given a weak publishing activity over the period with the postponement of Vampire the Masquerade and Swan Song released to fiscal year 22-23. After the success of the Revolution X Pro controller will enjoy sales, so they hope that they go up then for PlayStation 4 and 5. Fiscal year 21-22 confirms its year-end targets of sales expected between 150 and 180 million and a current operating income of 20 million. So outlook: NACON anticipates sustained sales thanks to a buoyant publishing activity. More than 15 games are expected to be released during the year. Among them, the highly anticipated Vampire. From other major games, Steel Rising, Lord of the Rings Gollum, I heard about this. Session, I also heard about this. And Test Drive Unlimited Solar Ground. At the same time, NACON will continue a policy of selective acquisition. That's interesting for me. This is the part I like, guys. So I like that they're growing and that they're buying other gaming studios in order to enhance its catalog and become one of the leading players in this sector. In this context, NACON confirms its targets for the fiscal year 22-23 with sales ranging between 250 and 300, as well as an operating margin exceeding 20%. Wow, ambitious. I'm saying it's ambitious. So featured games, what is coming in 22? Here we see Blood Bowl, which came already out, is RWC. Those games are actually, I like the dirt games more. First, I have to say this, but I have to admit they're still good for the WRC series. Those rally games are still good. And then Test Drive, I'm actually looking forward to this game. No, Solar Crown already came out, I think. So we can click on this to see a little bit more. And then Steel Rising is coming out. So this game looks extremely cool. I'm definitely looking forward to this one. And Test Drive, yeah, it's coming in September. It's coming in September 22. So I'm also looking for this title. So very, very interesting, my friends. So So they have some interesting titles coming, and Steel Rising, and then we have Werewolf, which is a mixed game, Rugby 22, mostly positive, and here's the cricket game, which is actually a mixed game. But this is a game, and we can also take a look at it a bit more closely, because I'm a gamer and an investor, and then the Sinking City, of course, we have to talk about this immediately. So saying that this is the only game they were actually publishing in the fourth quarter in 21, that's a bit critical. I don't like this. So probably this is supposed to be a game that is very strong on the Indian market, I guess, or in countries. I think it's Pakistan and India where this sport is popular. So, but here, mixed review, mostly positive recently, and if we look if the people like it, apart from very minor fielding issue, great game, it's really good. And then, well, the game really needs to improve. Currently, a lot of fielding bugs. I haven't left a Steam review before. Alright, so keep this in mind. They are niche games, So now I want to go very quickly to the NACON page, and this is important because I want to talk here about the issue they had with the game The Sinking City. So on the 1st of March 2021, video game developer Frogwares alleged NACON illegally hacked and published a pirated version of their game, The Sinking City, on Steam in February 2021 during an ongoing dispute between the two companies. So actually they were in a dispute about the rights of this game. So I'm not taking position here. And this ended actually for NACON simply going out and publishing The Sinking City pretty cheap. And then they say that's an old version, Frogware said it's an old version, etc. So I bought the game. I also made on my other channel, I made several videos about this dispute. And I just found out there's a lot of hate against NACON, and Frogware made here a couple of blog posts. You can read through this if you're interested, if you want to know what's really going on. So I'm honestly have to say the whole situation is simply difficult, a mess. And but probably NACON was not really going the nice path, the polite path. But on the other hand, Frogware also, I think we're mixing some things up. So very complex. And I don't want to say who's right and who's wrong. But if you go now and you read through it, you will read. So game is rather nice. I'd say it's like Pathologic Dawn. You will a lot of negative reviews actually based on the fact of this little dispute. So keep this in mind. This happened, and this is actually before NACON became a known company, so obviously there are always issues. So games published by NACON going back to 2002, so BigBen Interactive, of course, they're all part of it since NACON was part of BigBen Interactive. So they have a nice back catalog. And that's something I definitely like. So here we see also some new games coming on. Lord of the Rings Gollum, I think, and Test Drive, Steel Rising, and Session are definitely interesting games. And RWC210 is also a game that I'm going to buy when it's a little bit cheaper. So Werewolf also a game I would play cheaper. And Warhammer Chaos Bane, actually a game I liked a lot. So very important to read through this, guys. And yeah, owners of NACON are BigBen Group, 76.7%. So probably, if we now look at the stock chart, then it's possible to say actually that BigBen Interactive is the big investor here. So if BigBen Interactive would sell stocks of NACON, then the NACON stock would also fall. But on the other hand, as long as BigBen Interactive holds on to their stocks, then we don't have such a free stock float. Let's put it like this. Let's go. I think we can see this in the financial, but that's something I also have to verify again. So therefore, maybe if you want to invest in a company that is the owner more or less of NACON, then it's maybe more interesting to invest in BigBen Interactive. So we see here, BigBen Interactive designs, manufactures, distributes as well the company also in. So when they have full-time employees, 1,060, and they, when you look now at the market cap, it's actually smaller. So I don't know what they created there. So maybe it's interesting to just, if you want to invest in NACON and in BigBen, then you buy, let's say, you want to invest 500 euros, then you buy 250 in BigBen Interactive and 250 in NACON. I would say then you're more on the safe side, especially due to the dividend. So also. So keep this in mind, but we want to talk here about NACON, and therefore I would say let's get to the integrated pure play in video games. So this is their presentation, and then that's the last part I'm going to cover. So why NACON? Founded in October 2019 following the decision taken by BigBen, a company listed also, to consolidate all components of its gaming division into a new entity. So probably it's still part of BigBen, but then just the gaming division is a part for BigBen. NACON is a pure play in video game gaming, publishing and developing video games, as well as designing and distributing premium gaming accessories. Oh my god, that's marketing tags, of course. Creation of NACON has several goals, bringing publishing and accessories together under a strong brand, concentrating the expertise and talent of professionals operating in the same industry, but also maximizing synergies by vertically integrating the activities involved in order to create value. Yeah, and of course the Sinking City start was really an issue. So, but happens sometimes. This happens sometimes. Developer, publisher of video games in attractive genres. So they are specialized in racing, sports, simulation, adventure genre, and specialists in video game equipment, controllers, headsets, accessories under the official Sony license. I like this. That's a very interesting part. So they have the official Sony license, and they're selling them for the Sony PlayStation, their accessories. So that's definitely something I enjoy. So NACON in numbers, leading player with an international presence. So here you see, so revenue 129 million in 1920. Of course, that's the very positive number. So then later, after lockdown, this went down. Then 8 studios, 510 staff members, including 330 developers. And they're mostly in Europe, but also in Montreal, Shenzhen, and Hong Kong. They're a French company. Become key part of entertainment industry, to say. So the entertainment industry has 164 billion US dollars of sales in 2018. So a huge market. So they want to profit from this market. So this is overall market information, huge potential, consistent growth. So of course, guys, I mean, here in 2018, the segment saw its first consecutive year in France, generated global sales to 41.9 billion US dollars. I think that's then only for France. Wow, impressive. So why invest in NACON? Yeah, NACON is a gaming company, and gaming is cool, therefore you invest in gaming. So that's the conclusion from this part. But that's not so interesting for us. So for us, some more interesting is their vision here. The vision is also, yesterday it was retail, today it's retail and digital, and tomorrow it's retail, digital, and cloud gaming. So very important. Integrated developer publisher, the winning strategy. So with demand for content set to intensify, the company that offers the most comprehensive catalog of games will be the one that captures the most gamers. So they say we need a lot of games. We need a lot of games. And then we get a lot of gamers. The success of a video game publisher now depends on 3 factors: premium quality, a broad and diverse product range, and rapid time to the market. So those 3 factors are important if you want to become a video games developer. So make a lot of games, make them fast, and yeah, make broad and diverse product, and make also good quality, the first part. So business model combines the best of both worlds in video game production, lower execution risks that thanks to vertical integration, improved project monitoring, better anticipation of production difficulties and any potential overruns or delays, and control over budget. So lower execution risk than to vertical integration. Okay, yeah, that does make sense. Well, probably it makes sense for them, but yeah. Vertical integration. I don't understand what they want with this. Capturing 100% of the value. The margin and royalties earned by the studios remain within the group. Okay, I get it. So everything is in one group. Everything is in one group, and you're not just publishing and being a partner. So and you have R&D in-house. So that's the important part. Okay, got it. BigBen publisher, financing, distribution network plus marketing, and then independent development studios, creation of intellectual property asset. Big problem with the sinking city, and now they're putting it all vertically in NACON. So they have financing, distribution, marketing, everything in the publisher itself. And before, BigBen was actually the publisher, and then BigBen was not really profiting from all of this. So that's the point. Okay. NACON is pursuing a strategy of acquiring expert development studios. This is in fact a natural market-driven extension of the publisher's business, in which it gains expertise in content creation and publishes its own games. Developer-publisher model is now at the heart of NACON's strategy. By covering the entire value chain from design through sale of game, NACON is following market trends and capturing the entire financial value of its game. So this is what they call vertical. Everything is in one group. These acquisitions have enabled NACON to capture some outstanding know-how, blah blah. So KT Racing, Cyanide, Eco Software, Raceward, and Spider. So then we see here a little bit the story. 6 games, 30 employees, founded in. So that's for NACON, I guess. Production capacity that is now large enough to meet growing demand for new content. NACON Studio employ more than 300 developers who are passionate about gaming, of course, than where they are. And the strategy of acquiring development studios is also intended to accelerate the creation of more original exclusive property content. 8 studios, 12 partner studios, 10 to 15 games launched per year, and up to 30 games in continuous development. That's important. Continuously working on new stuff. So expertise in racing, sports, simulation, adventure, action, and RPG, and narrative games. Mise en camp. Yeah, and then they have one engine they can use then for different games. So AA segment of the gaming market encompasses all games with sales volumes of 200,000 to 3 million copies and a budget of 1 to 20 million. Wow, that's AA, guys. This is AA, from 1 to 20 million. Focus on publishing and developing AA games, and currently has a line of more than 100 games for console and PC. Differentiates itself from competition by focusing on niche areas that are neglected by the AAA publishers and are therefore less competitive. That's an interesting aspect. These expert games fall into 4 categories: racing, sports, simulation, and adventure. The company also broadened its lineup to encompass adventure and role-playing games by acquiring studios that specialize on own intellectual property in those areas. So we talked about this already. So here you see some of those games constantly. So making every half a year a WRC game is maybe not the right way in the long term. On the other hand, Electronic Arts is doing this. So I would say also create some new games and not always having a new 60-euro game. So that's now the gamer speaking. For more than 20 years, NACON has been Europe's leading producer of third-party game accessories. So NACON, BigBen, let's remember BigBen. So that's important. So they have actually experience in this. And I've never used their accessories, but in case I'm buying NACON stocks, I'm not fully convinced now. I'm envision it to buy them, but not fully convinced. Then I'm also probably going to buy myself once some of those products. So maybe an arcade stick would be interesting. So blue chip partnership with Sony, the market leader esports controller. So this is what I really like. So they made a real a partnership with Sony, and then they created a special controller which is made for esports in particular, and it was quite successful as it seems. And then they partnering also then with esports, with the esport community, combat games. So that's cool. So hybrid business model for optimized risk reward profile, back catalog. So high sales of potential with 20% new games. So black is back catalog and green is new games. NACON has a track record of strong, steady growth with an average annual growth rate of over 20% in the last 3 years and a revenue of 113.1 million in 2018-19 in the first 9 months in the of the year 1920, revenue was 104 million, an increase of 25%. This strong growth has accompanied by a sharp improvement in profitability with an operating margin of 11% in 2018-2019 versus only 1.3% in 2016 and 17. This trend has continued into the current year with an operating margin of 16.9% in the first half of 2019-20. So, jump in margin seen in recent years has been mainly due to NACON's achieving critical mass and to an increase in digital sales, which command a higher margin than physical games. That's a no-brainer. Growing digitalization also increases catalog availability due to the rising numbers of distribution platforms. It also extends the life of a video game measured in terms of the growing proportion of video game revenue generated by the back catalog. So, you know, Steam sale, and then everyone buys the old games just to have the old games because they're also cheaper now. So this is the overall market for video games, and then NACON says our target market, where we're targeting the 50% of this overall market, so then it's around about 110.5 billion US dollars, the PC and the console market. So growth strategy, game perspective, become a leader in the AA segment and agile position in the video games market. So acceleration of IP investments, creation of property, content acquisition of new studios, increase in average budgets for selected games, specialization and diversification of publishing, looking for new high potential genres, development of new niches, capitalization on the NACON brand publishing business unit to benefit from NACON's awareness in accessories, its sales force and its retail distribution network, increase in profitability, digital opportunities, back catalog, new platforms, premium. Yeah, a lot of games don't like this, and cloud gaming. So accessories perspective, so international rollout, expanding into new markets, especially in the Americas, evolution of product range, increasing brand awareness across a larger number of gamers. And then, yeah, the first one, here's started strengthening the partnership with Sony, developing new agreements with other technology leaders. So I think this controller is really their big horse. So, but I have a PlayStation 5 controller also, and I think the PlayStation 5 controller is pretty nice. So do I really need this controller? So what is this controller giving me that the PlayStation 5 controller is not giving me? That's the big question. I haven't tried it out yet, but that's a big question. So cloud gaming, next revolution, mobile gaming. So you know the story. And then we have, so those are obviously then the plans for April. This was April 21. So this is what they were developing, and then they were bringing the controllers out. I think those are the controllers they were bringing out, and they were actually postponing then those games. And then environmental policy, I'm not so interested. And then we can read very quickly the biography of the chairman and chief executive officer. It's always important to know who is working there. So engineer and graduate, founded BigBen Interactive in 81 when he finished his studies and rapidly acquired industrial and commercial know-how in watches and other promotional electronic products. In 93 he moved into the building video games sector. In 99 when it was floated on the stock exchange, BigBen Interactive was one of the leading designers and manufacturers of accessories for third-party video game consoles not made by the console manufacturers in France. After its IPO, BigBen Interactive continued to expand internationally with operations in the Benelux, the UK, Germany, Hong Kong, Spain, Italy, having gradually built up their video games publishing business over the following decade. In 2011, Falk acquired the smartphone accessories design and distribution business of Mode Labs, never heard about this, but the French leader in smartphone accessories, which became BigBen Connected. He then took in BigBen Group in another strategic direction in 1819 through the acquisition of interest in 5 development studios. In 2019, he successfully led the creation of NACON, the BigBen Group integrated gaming division. So, and I checked it up. So this was a press release of BigBen in February 2022, and here we know it. So actually this was a stock split, and following BigBen Interactive or the NACON stock split, BigBen Interactive holds now 61 million NACON shares, so 70.9 7% of the share capital and 60.685% of the voting rights. So that's very important. So therefore, if I conclude from this now, after all this information, this is the BigBen Interactive chart, and that's very important to keep this in mind. So as I said in the beginning, and this is the NACON chart. So let's go back. So then in conclusion, I would say if you would now consider buying actually into NACON and BigBen Interactive, then probably it's better to overweight BigBen Interactive with regard to NACON, because you're going to profit from NACON if you also in BigBen Interactive. So maybe a 70-30 strategy would be actually interesting here. So that's something I'm thinking then about it. So but looking at the very long time chart in BigBen Interactive, I'm much more inclined actually to getting into BigBen Interactive. But this video was about NACON, and I think it was very comprehensive. We learned a lot, and it's half an hour, guys. So one of my longest video, but I hope you enjoyed this. So if you consider investing in NACON, also keep in mind BigBen Interactive has 70% of NACON. So it's not going to be really a company on its own, but still there might be a lot of potential there. But you might also profit from raising prices of NACON if you a shareholder of BigBen Interactive. So this is how the stock market works with splits, etc. So always keep in mind who is the owner of a company, and then you can decide if it's an investment for you. So with this, I'm leaving it here, and I wish you a wonderful weekend. I hope you enjoyed this video, this comprehensive video about NACON, and see you next time. Bye bye.